Okay, I think we got sound back now. Yeah, I think we have sound. So thanks everybody for being patient. And yeah, so sorry about the technical difficulties there. We I accidentally ended the other stream early. So thanks for following the rabbit trail to this stream. We're gonna wait another minute or so till other people can kind of trickle in, and it looks like the comments are coming through. This is great. So this is the first time I've actually done this. So I wanted it to be like a big fanfare where I kind of come out like Elton John and all sparkles and things and have it run smoothly, but this is my first time, so bear with me, and we'll get started soon here. All right, I'm wearing a lot of hats tonight, so thanks for bearing with me. If you just came on, thanks for making it through the rabbit hole of all of the different links you had to go through. Hopefully it wasn't too difficult for you. Gonna tune up here, and then I'm ready to go. So thank you all for showing up. Usually when I make Facebook events, you kind of have to think about the geography where you're playing. But this one I could just invite all of my friends on Facebook. So thanks to those of you who responded to that link and are showing up tonight. Laura just said 20 people are watching right now. It looks like 21. And she said that's a lot of people for our living room. And it may even be more people than that, right? It's 21 devices. So we hope that we can host you actually in our living room sometime soon. That'd be a real nice time. Oh, this is a new living room. I don't know. I haven't streamed before, so you probably didn't see our old living room, but Laura and I just recently moved, so we're enjoying a little bit more space. She has her sewing room, and I have my music room. And our bikes aren't... We don't have all of our bikes in the living room, so that's great. Okay, I think looks like we're kind of tapering off. I have a graph here showing me like who's joining, and it looks like it's kind of plateauing, so we're flattening the curve. I don't have any feedback tonight, so if you laugh really loudly, maybe I'll hear you. Or just maybe I don't even deserve the laughter. Anyway, so thanks for coming tonight. I'll launch into the official spiel here. So yeah, yesterday I released an EP of 4 songs about a trip Laura and I took back when traveling was a thing, back in September 2019. We visited our friend Kathleen and Joaquin in Spain. We spent a couple days in Madrid, Valencia, and Seville. And so when I was about halfway into that trip, I realized that there were some things that was kind of sticking out to me and popping out to me that I kind of wanted to process in some way, sounds that I wanted to collect. So I decided to write an EP focused around Spain and our trip there. So I'm going to share that. I'm going to play those 4 songs in the order that they are presented in the recording, and then I'll play some more songs. But yeah, we'll start with that. So this is Sevilla. We walked in the cool of the evening. We slept in the heat of the day. Now I can't get over this feeling. This feeling will never go away. This city won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. This city won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. We danced in the company of royals. We slept in the castles of thieves. Now I can't get over this feeling. This feeling won't ever let me leave. This city won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. This city won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. This city won't leave my mind. It won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind. This city won't leave my mind. Don't leave me behind. 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 So that was the first song called Sevilla. If you're just joining us, thank you for coming in. Thanks for making your way through the rabbit hole, as I'm calling it. The groundhog hole is probably more common. Yeah, so that first one was about Seville, and so in Seville, if you are paying close attention and you're looking around, you'll see, I'll do my best to describe it, but it's the letters N-O, something that looks like an 8, and then a D-O. So it's no, 8, do, or do, or whatever. So that is a representation of no me ha dejado, which means you have not forsaken me. That has something to do with a battle and a king. I'm not sure of the names of any of those battles or kings. People can, add that in the chat. I know Joaquin is on the call and Kathleen. They might have some... they might have some input on the history of that, or y'all can Wikipedia it too. You can do that. So anyway, this symbol is around town, and so it sort of sparked in my mind this sense of you have not forsaken me, as in this trip, this memory will not forsake me, it will not leave me. So that's where that main chorus comes from. So next I'm going to play the second song, which is called Valencia, or I Used to Be a River. So we had the privilege of visiting the brother-in-law of a colleague who he and his partner live in Valencia, and they were kind enough to take us in. And we stayed with them, and Valencia is a beautiful city. I wish we would have had a little bit more time there, but great art scene there, and the beach is amazing, of course. But the other amazing thing was the park in Valencia. There's this park that runs the entire length of the city, and so it used to be a riverbed, but the river kept flooding and flooding, so they had to divert the river. And so they were trying to figure out what to do with the riverbed. And so there was talk of turning it into a highway, but eventually the idea that won out was a park. So there is a park, I think it's, how many acres is it? It's like 450 acres. I'll have to get someone to fact check me on that. But when I was looking it up the other day, I think that's what it was. But it's this huge park with walking trails and biking trails, and there are even soccer fields in it. And when you're standing in it, you can look up, and the traffic is going by on either side of you, and there are bridges that you walk under. So it's just a really neat experience, and it's not even like it's not even the fact that it is an amazing architectural and city development feat, but it's just also amazing to see because it's part of everyday life. And when I travel, I want to learn how people there live. So yeah, this is what this song is about. This is Valencia. This is Valencia. We rolled into town, high-speed train caboose was towing clouds. We slept with hearts so full. The rain sang as it filled the swimming pool. It said I used to be a river flowing through these city streets. Now I'm wild and free, feeding the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway sleep. I used to be a river. I used to be a river. We walked through the park. Saw the rain last night had left its mark. Memories stick around, and memories fill the puddles on the ground. It said I used to be a river flowing through these city streets. Now I'm bright and green. I'm home to the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway rolling on to never sleep. I used to be a river. I used to be a river. Wake up and I'm thirsty as the sun, sleepy as the late November skies. Watch the water pour into my cup. Thinking to myself, I realize that I used to be a river flowing through some city street. Now I'm just me. I sing to the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway. Maybe soon I'll get some sleep. I used to be a river. I used to be a river. Oh, so Laura's actually brought me some props. You may not know, Laura and I met in high school, and we worked on a play together, and so she was like part of the props team, and I was an actor. So she helped me with a few costume changes. It was titillating was one of my professor's favorite terms, and that's the word that came to mind. Anyway, I'm gonna hold these up. These are tiles actually that we got in Spain. So this is what I was talking about, the No me ha dejado. You can't hear me. The middle part is a skein of yarn. Me deja is what that is. So it's kind of it's a play on words. It's sort of, I forget what you call that when you use symbols to represent words, but that's what that is. And this is just another sort of an example of the tile that you see. You kind of see this in people's entryways and just all throughout Sevilla. So I'll hold that up too. So those are some little props, so thanks, Laura, for bringing those. Oh, someone asked a question, a very important question, something I've been meaning to say, is where is the virtual tip jar? So I think Laura's going to paste that in the comments here soon. I've decided that a portion of the proceeds tonight will be going to Safe House Lancaster, which is an organization that empowers Black and brown young folks for advocacy and activism. So a portion of the tips tonight will be going to that. And so I've also will be including a URL in the chat where you can check out their mission and what they do here in Lancaster. So yeah, if you want to bump like another 25% to go towards them, then feel free to do that. But yeah, PayPal and Venmo. And if you don't like either of those, you can mail me a check. So, Either way. Oh, and you can also go to my Bandcamp page and download the album. That's a great way to support me too. They take a little bit of the money, but that's okay. It's better than iTunes, and certainly better than Spotify. But if you want to listen on Spotify, there's no shame there too. It's sort of a pay-what-you-can situation. I'm just glad to have people listening to this music. So really, it means the most to me if you tell me how it affects you and how it shapes your life or what it meant to you. So please tell me that. Okay, I'm going to play another song here. Stop yammering. Show and tell, I guess. It's true. Laura said it's my show. I can do what I want. Oh, it's true. Also, it's my birthday tomorrow, so if you want to put a little extra in the tip jar because it's my birthday, then you can do that too. Let's see. Are there guitar picks somewhere? Oh, it's on the couch there. Got a costume change. So. D. Yep. Great. We're still working out the kinks with the roadie thing. Like I said, this is our first time putting on a show like this. So this next song is called Madrid. We were shown around Madrid and Sevilla by Kathleen and Joaquin. Kathleen is Laura's friend from college, and her partner Joaquin showed us around and got to see how they lived and got to see their little apartment, which was so cute and so small. And got to meet Joaquin's little bird, Pico. And so picos are, right, Laura, they're these little, like, crouton things that you get with tapas for free. Usually they're free. If they charge you, then you're at the wrong tapas place. But anyway, so Joaquin, Kathleen, and Pico, this one's for you. This is called Madrid. You had a tiny apartment in Madrid, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and a kitchen. You had an oven to remind you of home. You had your love and the sun to keep you warm. With the boy and his little bird. The boy and his little bird. We came to visit you and him. We stood and we talked in the kitchen. We spoke the language as best we could, but switched to English. Didn't know the words of the boy and his little bird. The boy and his little bird. Now the plane's touched down and we're back stateside. And we're already missing those Spanish nights. Didn't think much about it till I got home. How brave you are for moving to where you didn't know a soul. Just the boy and his little bird. 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 So this EP is about traveling, but it's also about coming home and the things traveling leaves you with, I guess. So this last one isn't about a city per se, but it's about jet lag, and it's called Jet Lag. And I actually wrote it while I was jet lagged. So this is actually the first song I wrote. For the EP, our plane landed 6 o'clock that night, and then we took a train into town, back to Lancaster from Philly, and got in bed probably around 1 a.m. And then Laura went right into work, but I decided that I was going to take half a day of vacation to sleep and wake up. So as part of that time, I sat down and wrote this right after eating some eggs and toast. So this is called Jet Lag, and this is the last song on the EP. Like I said before, I don't know, maybe Laura could paste it in the chat too. You could go to my Bandcamp page or my Spotify and stream this album. It has a lot more going on. I'm really proud of all the layers that I've added in. Most of it was admittedly recorded in our bathroom at the other place because that was the easiest place to treat acoustically because we had really tall ceilings there. But yeah, so there's slide guitar, there's bass guitar, there's electric guitar, there's drums. So really give it a listen. There's glockenspiel too. Laura helped out with 3 of the 4 tracks. So if nothing else, listen for Laura's glockenspiel playing. So yeah, give that a listen. Bandcamp, you can download it. It's a pay what you can or pay what you want. And then Spotify is pretty much always free, except when there are ads. But yeah, so this is the last song, and this is called Jet Lag. Make sure my volume's up. Got up and poured myself a cup of coffee, as big and bold as a Wild West show. Sat down and played my guitar till my toast got cold. My phone tells me that it's 10 o'clock, but my watch is in the old time zone. My body's at rest, but my soul's still traveling on. Coming home, like the light has changed. Coming home, everything is rearranged. The familiar feels so strange. Coming home, the plane hit the tarmac at 6 last night, and the train came in at 12:10. We didn't sleep very long, but we sure slept well. We steeped our souls in Spanish sun to forget about our life back here. Now all that's left is some wine and souvenirs. Coming home, how the light has changed. Coming home, and everything is rearranged. The familiar feels so strange. Coming home, oh, oh, oh. Well, I haven't shaved in a couple of days, but usually I wouldn't care. But my razor and my suitcase are stuck in O'Hare. Well, I didn't leave anything else behind, but there's a twitch that feels as if I did. I guess a piece of your heart gets left in the places you've been. Coming home, how the light has changed. Coming home, and everything is in its place. The familiar feels so strange. Coming home, yeah, I know I changed. Coming home, everything is rearranged. The familiar all feels strange. Coming home, oh, 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 oh. Coming home. And that's jet lag. And that's Spain. And thanks for listening. I'm going to play some more songs now. But like I said before, I'm really proud of the way these songs turned out. So please, please, please go over to Bandcamp, Spotify, whatever else you use to listen to music. It should be there. And give it a listen. So yeah, I'm going to play some other songs that are a mix of new songs and oldish songs, but yeah. So I'm gonna sort of continue on that theme of traveling for now. And I'm gonna play a song called Punta Arenas. So Laura and I traveled to Costa Rica in, when was that? Oh, a year ago, right before it all happened, right before everything went down. So I've never actually gotten to play this song live, unfortunately, but I think it's a really good one. So we visited friends once again in Costa Rica, and we spent some of the time in the mountains, and we also spent a day or two at the beach at a place called Punta Arenas. And it was different from any beach I'd been to. I think I'd been to most beaches, or all beaches I'd been to had been in the United States, and it was just a different feel in general, but it was really magical. One night, Laura and I went out for a walk, and there was like a kind of a street fair kind of thing. There was a band playing, like a woodwinds and brass, and there were folks dancing. Like people had their lawn chairs kind of lined up all around it, like in a big corral kind of thing. And there were people dancing, and there was also. So there were I think there were just couples dancing that wanted to dance. And then there were also professional dancers that came in, and it was just such a joyous atmosphere. And so that's kind of what this song is about, and it's about our hotel room that had no hot water, which is just how it was. And yeah, so this is Punta Arenas. This room smells like a Martin guitar, like spruce and glue and veneer. Rough around the edges, a little dust on the ledges, and a window with a view of the hall. We were lured down from the mountains by the smell of the sea and the promise of a quiet place to rest. Oh, this shower runs cold, but we're warming our souls in the salt, in the sand, in the beer. As the sun sets on Punta Arenas, the heat rises and twinkles the stars. And just like the light in that Costa Rican sky, we'll always be right where you are. Band is playing what sounds like a march with bugles and tubas and drums. There are old couples dancing in the waves and the sand. Sing along, spin out into the night. We both snuck away from the noise and the crowds, though no one would know we were gone. Cracked open our cans and we toasted this land, and we sat in the here and the now. As the sun sets in Punta Arenas, the heat rises and twinkles the stars. And just like the light in that Costa Rican sky, you'll always be right where you are. A cart selling fruit-flavored ice, his arms strong and brown from the sun. Another man sits in the surf trying to wash away his hurt, and he yells at stray passers-by. Maybe the sun had dried up all his hope, maybe someone he loved hurt him bad. Well, a town on the beach felt like freedom to me, but a jail cell to different folks. As the sun sets in Punta Arenas, the heat rises and twinkles the stars. And just like the light in that Costa Rican sky, you'll always be right where you are. As the sun sets in Punta Arenas, the heat rises and twinkles the stars. And just like the light in that Costa Rican sky, you'll always be right where you are. So thanks for all the great comments. Honestly, they're very distracting. So it's like trying to keep my focus. It's like digital heckling, kind of. But it's great. Don't stop. Keep it coming. I can always close my eyes. You know, people say you perform better when you have your eyes closed anyway. So I'm going to play another one. I won't talk as much now, just because these are not the EP, but I'll give context as needed. This is about a conversation I had with a man in a parking lot about his life. His name was Kerry, and he was looking for direction in his life. I did not give him that direction, but he was looking for direction in his life, and he studied geography. So I'm like, well, here's a song waiting to be written. So Kerry, if you're listening for some reason, this is for you. Sitting here talking on the hood of your car, an open bag of chips, eating salsa from the jar on a misty kind of night that obscures the stars, or are they hiding? Tell me that you built this house on sinking sand, wasn't too cold and you knew it wouldn't stand. You lied to yourself, you lied to her, then are you lying now? I said, Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me where you're headed to? Driving home to get some sleep, or you're going down to Lima, Peru. Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? Good to see the kids again, to smell their hair and to hold their hands. But their mom, she found another man. And does that bother you? But you know, you've been seeing someone too. You met her online, she's from Peru, and she even came to visit you. She's gone home now. Said, Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me where you're headed to? Driving home to get some sleep, or you're heading down to Lima, Peru. Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? Try to get your bearings now, west from east and your north from south, and all the fear that's in your mouth, still feeling lost. Chart a course the way you do, your latitude and your longitude, and maybe you'll end up in Peru, anywhere but here. I said, Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me where you're headed to? Are you driving home to get some sleep, or are you headed down to Lima, Peru? I said, Kerry, get out your maps, can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? So now we're shifting away from songs about traveling and now into songs about that I wrote during the pandemic. So more new stuff that I have not performed live. So this is sort of a strange venue, but I think appropriate to debut some of these songs. So I have two songs, and I confused myself because I wrote them very close together. They both are about rain, and they both have the words "on" and "days" in the title. So one is called "On Days Like This," and one is called "On Other Days." So I released those two singles back in May, I think. But I still can't really tell them apart, so the set list is not really helping me right now. But on days like this, so that's the sad one. So this one is called On Days Like This, and I wrote it toward the start of the pandemic, and yeah, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory, but another one that you can stream. I think this one is on my Bandcamp, the other one is not, but honey, I'm going out on the porch and I'm going armed. Cup of coffee in my right hand, in my left an old guitar. On days like this, the sun feels like it's blinding, and on other days, it's not shining through the rain. Rain. Honey, I'm going out on the town, but I'm staying here. Finish up this bottle of wine and maybe have another beer. On days like this, I guess I need reminded that days like this are gonna find me in the rain. Rain. Honey, I'm looking for a way to refill my hope. I'm realizing it takes some work and there ain't no antidote. On days like this, try my very best to keep on showing up. And on days I can't, I'll just fill my cup with rain. Rain. So this next one is a sister song to that song. This is called, I have to look at my list, On Other Days. So on days like this, on other days. Both about rain and how rain can mean different things at different times and represent different things. So. I met an earthworm living in my garden. Said, my good sir, spring will soon be here. And in the ground I hear the roots of flowers growing, in spite of all your anger and your fear. And then he crawled away, it took forever, but it gave me time to sit and stop and think. I looked up at the sky, I saw it was raining, a wake-up call to every living thing. Some days are hard, some days are easy on the eyes, but other days we need the rain. It seems so strange that spring is here among us, when most people I know are stuck inside. And through our screens we wave to our companions. We say, what a strange, strange time to be alive. I hope that we can start a revolution, 6 feet apart but 20 miles high. And I hope that when we are all together, hope it's soon, have a softer kind of hope and clear skies. Some days are hard, some days are easy on the eyes, other days we need the rain. Some days are hard, some days are easy on the eyes, and other days the skies are gray. Some of those days I'll feel okay, and other days I need the rain. Thank you. I'm seeing all these clapping emojis, so it makes me smile. So thank you for listening, and thank you for reacting. Yeah, like I said this before, that usually when I do a Facebook event for a gig, I have to be like, okay, where am I playing? And who lives around that area? But now I was just like, invite everybody. Anybody can join. And there's no cover fee, there's no nothing, but there is a tip jar. So I'm going to ask Laura to paste that in the chat again. Venmo, PayPal. I guess a suggested donation would be $10 is usually a good, or more. I said this before, but just in case you joined after I said it, I'm going to donate a portion of proceeds from tonight's gig to Safe House Lancaster, which is an organization that empowers young Black and brown folks for activism and advocacy, and it's just a really, really powerful organization here in Lancaster, and I'm glad to support it. So I think Laura will probably have a URL in there, just linking you to their website. So I'm going to play a few more songs here. I'll play one more quarantine song, and then we'll close it out with 2 more songs that are not quarantine related, I promise. So this one is also one I've never performed. It's called Wake Up Early. I don't know really what it's called because I've never had to, put it out there. So. Was it the wine I drank last night, or the burning of the light, or a combination of the two? My bones aren't sitting right inside my body, and I'm a storm a couple miles away. Is it the absence of the muse, or not having much to do, Or maybe it's a mix of both. My thoughts aren't feeling true, my work's forgotten, and I'm a stone. I'll sit here for a while. Random sorrows tag along, tack down the corners of my songs. With the rain we had, I'm afraid they're getting curly. I'll eat my greens and floss my teeth, but these blues are hard to beat, even if you go to bed and wake up early. Is it the burden of it all, or the good that feels too small? Or maybe it's a mix of both. My God, you missed my call as you were driving. And I'm a church, I'm empty, but I'm holy. Random sorrows tag along, tack down the corners of my songs. With the rain we had, I'm afraid it's getting curly. I eat my greens and floss my teeth, but these blues are hard to beat, even if you go to bed and wake up early. Is it the hope we left bereft, or the promise that we kept? Painted our own set and burned the curtains. And I'm the light, I'm burning, but I'm true. Random sorrows tag along, tack down the corners of my songs. With the rain we had, I'm afraid they're getting curly. I'll eat my greens and floss my teeth, but these blues are hard to beat, even if you go to bed and wake up early. And now for something completely different. All right, this last one, second to last one here, is about a little red Subaru that we had Lars doing something in the chat here. Oh, pinning it. Ah, yes, perfect. So this next song is about our Subaru Forester that we bought and loved dearly. It was a 5-speed transmission, all-wheel drive, as most Subarus are, and it was just everything we needed in the first few months of being out of college. But unfortunately, 6 months down the road, Laura was driving it to work, and it made this awful scraping, knocking sound, and we had to sell it to someone who hopefully could, throw a new engine in it and give it life. I was a little disappointed that the engine in a Subaru ran out. I thought they were supposed to run till like 500,000 miles or something like that, but it was not to be. You know those ads where the key wears out before the car wears out or whatever? I don't know. So anyway, I had to write like a eulogy, I guess. So this is called Little Red 5-Speed. That was my water jar being filled, by the way. It's sort of like, sort of like Zoom calls these days. You have like kids popping in during meetings and things like that. Why wouldn't it happen during a concert live stream? So. Not too far from her house, just a couple blocks over there, were a little red car pushing 200,000 sitting beside the curb. Our pockets heavy with the keys, but a couple dollars lighter, we made you our own. Let out the clutch and pushed down the pedal, away we drove. In that little red 5-speed, came to us in a time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed, came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. Load up the tent, load up the cooler to head down south, to hear the seeds of the Civil War coming straight from the horse's mouth. The skies got dark, the wind started blowing, the rain clouds came. But huddled together with the windows fogged up, we didn't mind a little rain. And that little red 5-speed came to us in a time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed, came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. Driving 65 down the road is when you gave out the ghost. Whoa. Oh, the knocking in your engine was the same as if it were on them pearly gates. Now we're standing in the parking lot, our hands in our pockets, staring at the sky. You're sitting by the curb like the day we first found you, but now we're saying goodbye. We'll never forget the day you drove so far, so free, and we still let out the clutch, we pushed down the pedal in our memories. That little red 5-speed came to us in the time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed, came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. It's even more fun. I played it with my friends Ethan Satiwan and Sadie Gustafson Zook, and that one was always my favorite to play with them. Sort of chugging along there. All right, the last one I want to play for you, I'll Need Your Help. And normally in a live show, I would have everybody sing along. I still want you to sing along if you're able, or willing, I guess. So this one's called Growing Towards the Sun. And I think it's especially important. This is my song that I preach about, I guess, preach about self-love, and cutting yourself some slack. And I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to anybody else here. How we need to think about ourselves and our lives as a progression, and just because we're not feeling like we're doing a good job today doesn't mean that we aren't doing better than we were a month ago or a few months ago. And especially in this time where it's like there's a lot of pressure. You know, folks are working from home. Some other folks have to go in and face some scary conditions, and there's a lot of things wrong in the world. And this song is a way to kind of deal with that and think about how are we growing? How are we moving towards what is good and what is life-giving? So this song came to me as I was sitting on my lunch break outside, and I noticed that for the first time, I sort of put it together that all of the flowers in the garden where I was sitting were facing the same direction. And of course, it makes sense because they're growing towards the sun. So that phrase just sort of rolled around in my head for a bit, and I had to, I don't know, make it into a song. So this is called Growing Towards the Sun. I'll play a couple sort of like sample choruses for you, and then you can kind of, hopefully you can pick it up and sing along and harmonize in your own homes. And I don't know, if you want to record a video of yourself doing it and send it to me later, that'd be kind of fun, but no pressure there. Or just sing. So it goes like this. Growing, thank God we're growing. I'll sing it again with you. 1, 2. Growing, thank God we're growing. That's the first part. And then the second part goes like this. Growing towards the sun. Now you try. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Growing towards the sun. And the last part is similar to the first part. It goes, growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. 1, 2, 3, let's sing with me. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. It'll come together. Now I've forgotten the first verse in my effort to teach you. Okay, here we go. From sowing seeds till when they bloom, flowering as they do, reds and purples, blues and whites, growing towards the sun. Standing tall or climbing high, reaching towards the sky. From fertile earth through last year's leaves, growing towards the sun. Now you. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Oh, skies aren't perfect every day. In fact, sometimes they're in shades of gray. But still, these buds will open up, growing towards the sun. Sing with me again. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. They say the tallest wins it all, but that tale is just as tall. It's not how high you've learned to climb, but just how far you've come. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Thank you all for singing along. And give yourselves a hand. That's what I always say. And then I can hear you clap, and it's for you. But thank you for joining in this odd time, in this odd space. But I think there's also kind of an upside to this, because we get a bunch of people kind of in the same room that otherwise would not be able to. I think we have folks from California, we have folks from Vermont, we have folks from Spain earlier. I'm not sure if they're still on, but so thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. It's really heartening to see all these folks tuning in and participating in all these comments coming in. Like I said, they were wonderfully distracting this whole time. So if I forgot any lyrics, I'm going to blame it on that. But I guess one last time is the whole point of this was to sing the songs from my EP that came out yesterday. And so, like I said, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I want to thank Nathan, my brother, for helping out with some artwork and that Laura designed, my spouse Laura designed. Thanks to Laura for adding some vocals on some of the tracks and some glockenspiel on any of the tracks. And also to my friend Jesse Barkai for mixing and mastering it. So, a lot of people helped out with this. And though I did record all the parts myself, I could not have done it without other folks. So, I guess this is my last PSA. Listen to the EP if you haven't already on Bandcamp. You can listen to it and download it. It's a name your price, whatever you feel like you can contribute right now. I know not everybody can contribute something, but if you feel like you enjoy it and you're going to have it on repeat in your car or wherever, throw $4 in or $5 in. And just stream it ad infinitum on Spotify. Stream it with your speakers off, and then maybe I'll get 5 cents. but that's not the point. The point is that people are hearing it, and that people are sharing it with other folks. So thanks for tuning in, and let me know what you think of the songs. Let me know what you think of the album and how it's interacting with your life or how it's meaningful to you. That's better than any amount of money that you can contribute to that. So I think that's all I have for the sake of cutting myself off from rambling further. I think I'm going to end the stream here. But thank you again so much, and I hope that we can do this in person sometime soon. I love you all.